Right, Taz, welcome to the Supps podcast. It's good to have you on, mate.
I appreciate it.
How you doing, man?
I'm very good, mate. I'm very good. I'm excited for this one, don't you? I'm excited. I've been thinking about it all day. I think I've had a few sleepless nights as well, if I'm honest with you.
Really?
Yeah. I like talking stuff like that, but I'll be honest with you, one of my toxic traits, if you want to call it, I overthink things.
Right.
Overthink things way too much than I need to. But again, it's a positive and a negative at the same
In
time.
in like a worrying, anxious way, or more of a just I want to get it right way.
Just preparation, really.
Yeah.
One saying that's always stuck with me from my training days is perfect preparation prevents poor performance. Right. So anytime I could do a podcast or an interview or whatever it may be, I've always got to make sure that this is what we're talking about. This is what I'm going to say, and I always plan ahead. I always think life's like a chess match. Really, you always got to be one step ahead. Always got to be like one step further, because otherwise you've got to be prepared for these situations. So thanks.
So would you have preferred if we came in, if we'd have give you like a question?
Absolutely no. So,
a week ago, no.
So that preparation is purely on a personal level.
Right.
So how am I going to present myself? Right, because again, we'll talk to this about a little bit deeper, a bit later on. I bet is actually I try to be as high value as I can, right? As a man, as a father, as a husband. So that means I've got to prepare for everything, right? But sometimes over-preparing can give me fucking anxiety. I'm sorry for swearing.
Go for it, mate.
So over-preparing can give me too much anxiety. So if I've got like a sheet in front of me, what question I'm going to ask, my head's going to fucking fall off and I'm not going to answer any of them perfectly. So sometimes I've got to have that balance, really, through it all.
Yeah. Yeah, we've done very little preparation, but probably for that reason, because if I did have a list of questions to go through, I'd be the same, like thinking it over and over and over. Like, I think it's better just to let the conversation flow, especially with podcasting.
I agree. It lets the conversation flow then, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's better for the listeners.
It's not scripted then. It's not scripted. It's not scripted. It's the easiest way to just let the conversation flow. And let's take it away. Simple as that.
So throwing it back, Taz, what were growing up like for you? Because you didn't grow up in this country, am I right?
No. So I didn't come to England till I was 8 years old. I grew up in Lithuania. I was born in Lithuania. I was raised by my mum and with my brother. I came over when I was 8 years old. Growing up, I don't do no fucking sob story. It was a little bit tough. You know why? Because when I first come over to England, I didn't speak word of English. I know you can tell now with my Yorkshire accent.
That's crazy, yeah.
I didn't speak a word of English. And we moved to a place called the Sunny Beeston, if you want to call it. Right?
Shit, man.
It wasn't the posh side. It were again. I won't brought up in no ghetto, but it was a little bit difficult. It was difficult because it was a very, even though white, was a very racist area. All right, so you were either white kids or Asian kids or coloured kids, if you want to call it that way. There were two differences, and we were right in the middle. So it wasn't really British white, or wasn't the British Asian community, whatever you want to call it. So we weren't middle. So a little bit tough because me and my brother would get picked on. We always get picked on to a point where actually my brother nearly got stabbed at the age of. So I was 8, so he must have been 6 by another kid.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, that's that's sort of upbringing. My mum converted to Islam in 2008, so was always picked on that side because all of a sudden my mum was white and she wore a headscarf, right, in a heavy racist area in a sense, So upbringing, we wasn't in trouble, wasn't bad kids, but we had to do what we had to do. We had to look after itself. And after that incident of, my brother nearly being stabbed, it wasn't no, I don't want to mistake, it wasn't like a big machete or anything like that. It was just another kid pinning him down with a pen.
Even still at that age,
it's
trauma itself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that was that, we'd always get bullied. My mum used to get spat at because she had a headscarf on. I remember an instance, there were kids that knocked on the door, they opened the door, and the kid said to my mum, "What time is it?" And as my mum looked down to her watch, spat at her.
God.
I'll be honest with you, that stuff like this. I remember. It sounds like a small event that's really changed my life forever. Because I look at things a little bit differently. We're only kids that were trying to get on. We're trying to play football, and we're getting bullied.
Yeah.
And I think that's the upbringing side. That's when we started. Back to upbringing question. We had to start to fight back. So yes, we had loving upbringing. My mum loved us, but there were also challenges. It's for every kid. I don't want to make portray it like I was brought up in a ghetto with like Oliver Twist or anything like that, mate. But listen, things were tough. Things were hard. My mum did her best to look after us. she used to work night shifts. So from the age of 8, we used to get brought home from school at 3:15. Then we used to go do a night shift in a local supermarket from, say, I think like from 4 o'clock till midnight. Right, so I was 8 years old looking after my brother. I was cooking, I was cleaning, I was bathing him. I'll make sure he was all right. The homework was done. That's what I was doing. You know, at the age of 8 now.
Like the man of the house at 8-year-old.
Exactly.
Christ,
yeah, exactly. That's why. Realistically, one thing that I try not to install into my kids to make sure they don't grow up too quick. Because I personally, I don't believe that I had a childhood. I had to be the man of the house very quick. You know, because my dad wasn't about, and my mum tried her best to look after us. You know, she did a great job. I'm a great man because of her. You know, but there was times, there were instances that now, if I go back and look at things, I shouldn't be doing that. I should have been allowed to be a kid. No. And I should have been allowed to grow up the right way. You know, to play out with my friends. To I'm not saying I wasn't allowed to play with my friends, by the way. Just be a child.
You had a lot of weight on your shoulders at a young age.
And a lot of things. And that's it. And you know, from a young age, I suffered with panic attacks. That no one actually knows this, so this is an exclusive. I suffered with panic attacks. I suffered with anxiety. I suffered with stress-related anxiety, if you want to call it. Nothing that I was anxious about thing, but because of certain circumstances that were going on in my life, I've suffered with it. You know, I'm not going to lie to you, that's the way it is, and that's something that's carried through into my adult life.
From as young as 8, you had them?
Young as 8. I remember the first one that I had, it was fucking horrible.
Yeah.
I remember, same as I had a panic attack. I never really had them when I was awake, so when I was asleep, I used to wake up in a state of panic. And the way I can describe it, it's like all your senses are hypersensitive.
Yeah.
All right, so everything's ringing, even though it's dark, every little bit of light is bright. Your ears are ringing, your senses are overloaded. I want to call it panic slash sensory overload.
Yeah,
and that's the sort of thing, you know. Again, back to, as I'll probably go off topic a lot. But that's what the upbringing was. So that was probably from the age of 8 to 11 or so. They would move to a different area, a nice area.
So what were Lithuania like? Do you not have any memories about that?
I do, mate. I do. You know, Lithuania was a beautiful place.
Yeah.
You know, I had a lot of loving family. I had a lot of cousins. I had a lot of aunties. I had a lot of grandparents that loved me.
Why did you move? What were the main reasons for?
Come over and steal all your jobs.
Just more opportunity. Or?
Exactly that, mate. Exactly that. You know, my mum come over here with nothing less than £100 and 2 kids in a big suitcase.
So I remember something you said to me at gym the other day. You're probably not even going to remember saying this, to be fair, lad. We were speaking about you moving away to Dubai, and I said, yeah, it's a shithole here. I won't mind getting out one day. And you instantly said it's not a shithole. And and then we got back onto conversation, but that stuck in my head. I was thinking, yeah, why am I thinking like that? Maybe I need to be more grateful of where I'm from, 100%. Because obviously it could always be worse. So.
It's all relative, though, isn't it? Like, you know, it's that there's a picture or a video. I think there's 2 versions of it, but it's where there's like a guy walking and he's looking to his right, and there's a guy on a push bike, and he's saying, "Oh, I wish I had the money for the bike." But the guy on the push bike's looking to his right, and
in the bus,
on the motorbike, and and it keeps going on. So it's that, innit? You always want. It's nothing. Just human condition. You always want more. I think.
Yeah, you always look at the
perspective, really, isn't it?
And it's mindset as well. Like I genuinely did think about it for a few days after, because I've always wanted to get out of the UK. But then when you said that, I was like, yeah, it's not actually that.
Why do lots of people want to get into the UK?
Opportunity.
Because it's normally an improved lifestyle from where
exactly.
They're at.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
It's funny you make you made the comment before, like, and I know you were joking and whatever, but people do genuinely think that's like coming over here stealing the jobs, and people get really annoyed about that. And I really don't understand why. Because if you're coming over and you're more qualified and you're working hard, then just be better.
You know, the people that make those claims coming over and stealing jobs, they're the lazy ones. Because, for example, us foreigners, if you want to call it, or people who are foreign that come over, they do the jobs that people that want to do.
Exactly.
They don't want to get up early. They don't want to do the graveyard shift. They don't want to work in a shitty warehouse. They don't want to. Again, if you work at warehouse, there's nothing against you. I'm just talking in perspective.
You're right.
They don't want to do the shit jobs. They don't want to do the cleaning jobs. They don't want to do it because why? Because the modern day society is full of weak men that want everything and don't want to work for it. That's the issue. And when people, the Eastern Europeans or whatever, coming over and doing these shit jobs that these people who saying that stealing the jobs are doing, they're doing it with a happy face. They're smiling, they're happy. So what they're stealing? They're not stealing fuck all. Only thing the difference that's stopping you from getting to and doing these jobs is your entitlement. Because what you've got to realise that this country breeds entitled people who don't need to work because of the benefit system, because of all these different support networks that are provided to people.
You've always got something to fall back on.
Yeah, and that's the issue, isn't it? Because if you haven't got a plan B, if you haven't got something to fall back on, what's your only option?
Plan A's got to work.
That's it. You haven't got no option.
Yeah, it's you're so right. To be fair, people coming over who don't speak a word of English, taking jobs, and there's people here who moan they can't get jobs, and I just think, fuck.
But this is the thing that makes me laugh, because what they're essentially saying is, all right, okay, so someone's come across from somewhere else, doesn't speak a word of English, and they were better than me.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what
what they're
upsets
saying.
them.
Like, they've got a huge home field advantage and still lost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
There's always there's opportunity everywhere, isn't there?
You've got to look at yourself really and go, hang on a minute, maybe the problem's with me.
Yeah.
This is another reason why I don't believe that there's any excuse to be poor in this modern age. I don't believe there's no excuse, because if you're willing to put your mind to anything, you can make it happen. Because I know multimillionaires that sell egg cups.
Yeah.
Right? Egg cups. From nothing. For fuck all. And they become millionaires. The only thing that's ever going to stop you is a limiting belief to what you can achieve. And I think that stems down from the environment that you are in. If the environment around you, if people around you are not striving to do better, this is why I find it so important to surround yourself with people who want to win, who need to win, who don't have no other option than to get this done, who have the mindset and the drive to think, I'm worth more than this. I want more than this. That's the difference. If you're entitled to think, well, I need everything given on a plate and poor me and this, my life's shit. And this, one thing I fucking when people say, oh, it's shit today. Is it? The fact that you're breathing, the fact that you're alive, the fact that you can get up and get after it today, the fact that you can see, smell, taste, hear. What's shit about that?
Yeah.
See, perspective. Well, fucking know it's raining. Sound, mate, I never have to water my grass. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. That's the way I look at it. But if you wake up every single morning, actually list what you're grateful for. I don't want to sound hippyish, but if you wake up every single morning and say, listen, I'm grateful for these things, I'm happy, I'm thankful for these things, you can have a good day. And this is the minute that you change your perspective and change your outlook to that entitlement, bullshit, negative, horrible, the world owes me something because so-and-so's coming up and taking our jobs. I'm sorry, you deserve fuck all. The person that gets up every single morning, doesn't matter how they feel, but they still execute. This is one of the key traits of high-value man. Doesn't matter how they feel, they'll still get the job done. They're the people that deserve more. Yeah, not the one if you're sat there scratching your balls, doing fuck all. You're not entitled to. You're not entitled to fuck
nothing.
all.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I believe, again, I don't want to sound hippyish, but the universe always rewards the people who are willing to take the risk. What risk are you taking by not even leaving your house? What risk are you taking by not even getting up and doing something difficult? What risk are you taking? The risk to say average? Poor you. You're not going to fuck all. I salute the people that get up and get after it, the people who try more, who want to do more, who are not willing to settle for the average, who are not willing to just live the okay life. I truly believe every single man is capable of great things.
Where do you think you got all this? Where you built this mindset? Do you think it was going back to you? I suppose you've had a tough upbringing compared to I suppose 90% of people here.
More than that, I think.
Yeah, 99.9. Do you think that's where you've kind of built a mindset, or is it just something that you've developed over the years?
From young age, fellas, I always wanted more. I always knew I was destined for more. That's what I always knew. I always knew that the tough time that I was going through was never the future. So I knew if I go through shit now, I'm going to have a good life here. I'm going to do good things here. I always do things to challenge me. And this is why I truly believe why I'm right now, because I'm not willing to settle for less. I know what I'm worth. I can look myself in the mirror before I go to bed and think, you know what, Taz, you fucking done well today. Yeah. But you're going to do more tomorrow. Then the day after again. And day again. And the minute that I stop, one thing that my missus, I love her to bits, but one thing she hates about me, because I don't stop. I can't stop. Stop. It's my it's my toxic trait. I can't. Like, even on a night, be 10:30 at night, and I'll still be on my phone.
You always want to feel like you're going forward.
Taz, do you want to put your phone down? Babe, I can't stop yet. This is a conversation that we had actually a couple of weeks ago. She went, Taz, you're always on your fucking phone. I said, Lawrence, I can't stop. She went, why can't you stop? So we had this conversation. I said, why can't you stop? I said, because I want more. I deserve more. I want better. So Taz, you're doing better than everyone around me. I don't give a fuck what everyone around me is doing. I know what I want. I know what I deserve. I know what I want for you, for my kids. I know what I want. I do not want my kids to ever go through an ounce of pain that I went through as a kid. I don't want that. So you know what that does? It turns me into a fucking psychopath.
I get you, mate. I 100% get you. I mean, last night, Amy went to bed about an hour before I did. She walked, went to the toilet, came into the room. She said, "Tom, you still sat on your fucking phone?" I said, "I'm working." She went, "You're not working." Turned the thing around. I went, "Well, I'm editing a video."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Fair enough, you are working." So
I used to, when again, I feel like harp on about it, but with the teaching thing, Jen used to say like, "Stop checking your emails, stop doing this." She had to like say, "Stop," because you find yourself just doing it constantly. Going back to what you kind of said before with the mindset thing, I think it would be fair to say that your mindset is not common.
No.
And probably also fair to say that it's quite rare.
100%. I agree.
So like, it's great that obviously there's very few people that think that way, and you know, like you're basically, I correct me if I'm wrong, your mindset is like, that's mine for the taking, I'm gonna get it, fuck everyone else, I'll batter you all out of the way, and I'm getting that. And it's just laser focus on the prize, and you just keep going, relentless. Most people aren't like that. 99.9% of people, I would have said, aren't like that. Do you think that it's something that you're born with? Do you think it's something you can learn? Do you think a little from column A, column B? What do you think?
That's a good question, that. I don't thought of it that way. Personally, are you born with it? No, I don't believe you're born with it. You're not born. I think it's life events that cause it. You know, again, I'm not saying that I grew up in the ghetto and everything was hard, everything was tough. Things were hard for a moment. And I truly believe that you develop the mindset the minute that you decide that you are worth more. Now, anyone can develop it. You could say, buying this, you know what? I'm going to take what he said, and I'm fucking worth more. I'm going to wake up in the morning, I'm going to do extra. I'm going to do that 1% more. Because don't forget, only for you to become extraordinary, you only have to do 10% more. 10% more. That's all you got to do. Every single day, if you do 10% more, or even 1% more, you're going to become extraordinary, because a lot of people are lazy and will not do it. So the mindset stuff, let me pull it back a little bit. So when you say that prize is mine and everyone can get batted out of the way, I don't see no one. I'm in my own lane.
Yeah.
I'm in my own lane.
It's you against you.
That's it. Again, I'm going to reiterate that. I don't believe it. Only person that could ever beat me is me. I don't want to verse myself. Because if I verse myself, I'm going to lose to myself. Right? So this is important. This is what I get my coaching team to do. So when people say it's me versus me, I don't believe that. Because if the only person that can ever beat you is you, why the fuck would you want to verse yourself? Now, I know some people say it in the best thing that they want to better themselves because they're in competition with themselves. But it's me against the world. It's as simple as that. There's nothing else. If I went against myself, the only person that could beat me is myself. Why? Because you're the only person that's with yourself every single day, 24/7. There's no switching off. There's no music, no sleep, nothing. Even when you sleep, you're in your thoughts because you're dreaming. Even when you're eating food, you're thinking to yourself. That's where. So if we go back to the question, the mindset question, right? No, I don't believe that you were born with it. It's something that you develop throughout time, throughout resilience, and through life lessons. As I told you, I'm going to keep going off topic. So you have to pull me back, boys. Once I start, I struggle really.
So, like, obviously, you have built this resilience and this. I mean, it's a brilliant mindset to have. Like, I feel like a negative thought comes in your head, and you're like, "Fuck it, think of the bright side." You've probably built that through tough times. How do you create that then for your children without obviously giving them a shit life? Would you say combat sports, or would you?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah,
because I believe that I built a lot of my resilience through that.
Yeah,
through training, through Thai boxing, because from the age of I've been in combat sports from the age of about 11 or something. Yeah, but did a bit of boxing, bit of karate.
How did you get into that? Some of your mum just.
No, it wasn't even my mum. I had to beg my mum to take me.
How did you?
Yeah, I had to beg mum to take
also
me.
Inside you just had a desire to do it.
It was just again once we started looking after ourselves in those areas that we were getting picked at, I realised I was good at it. I'm not a violent person. Don't you know? I'm not a violent person. I'm just a very capable person. Either if it was we had to look after each other or in the combat sports, that's where I was very capable. I was very capable of looking after myself and my family. Because once I realised that, one thing that installed in me is I remember there was an altercation where something happened and then some kid come to my brother's door looking for him. Very simple altercation. But I remember having a conversation with my dad, and he said to me, "Son," so listen to me real closely. I said, if anyone comes to your door, I said, who are you going to put in front? I said, this is your castle, you're the king. So if you're the man at the fucking house that you say you are, I said, who are you going to put in front? Your mum or your brother? I said, none. I said, me. So there we go. So that's it. It says if you think you have them on the house, you have to protect it through all the bullshit. And I forgot the question that you asked because I went off topic again.
Oh, what was it? Yeah. So how do you create that?
Oh, for my children,
resilience for your children, or say, for your children as well, or for when I have children, how do you kind of instill that mindset into them?
Combat sports, 100% of the way.
Combat sports.
Let them get beat up.
Yeah.
Bad it sounds, let them get beat up. Because the resilience of get knocked down, get back up, that'll teach you so many lessons. There's so many lessons that I learned about myself in the ring that no life experience would be able to teach me outside. You know, the ability to... I remember when I was 15 years old, I got picked for Team GB. My mum didn't have no money to fly out to Latvia with me. I flew out to World Championships.
Right, in Latvia?
Yeah. So when I was 15, I got picked for Team GB. I flew out to Latvia and I fought in the World Championships. I only had 2 fights by then. So I was really a raw amateur. But I got picked for the team, you know, so I thought, congratulations, I went out there. And I think that, I remember it laid in the hotel room in Talsi. And I remember listening to Gabrielle Dreams Come True song, right? Right, with a song playing over and over again. And I just remember crying. Like, I wanted my mum.
Right.
I promise you. And that little moment will always stay with me. Because no matter how tough you are on the outside, in the inside, you're always going to be that. You're always going to want to care. And as soon as I left that hotel door,
back to yourself. Yeah,
back to business. And that's what I truly believe. This is why, again, I'm going to come back to the kid scenario. But I truly believe if you're internal strong, nothing external will ever break you. And this is why I believe that having a strong mindset. This is why the strong mindset is so important. Because if your mindset's important, then no negative thoughts will ever penetrate you or will allow you to penetrate and break you down. All right, that's the way I do it. Now let's go back to the point of how to install it to kids. Kids need martial arts. Kids need a discipline. Kids need a good fucking walloping in order to not from the dads. I'd say that not from the dads, not from the dads. But kids need to get beat up. You need to get beat up in order to realize first of all what you're made of. Second of all, to make sure that you're not to reassure that you're not made out of glass. One thing that fucking winds me up is the fact that how many men have never been hit in the face. I've never been hit in the face. So you never really know what you can take. You've never been beat up. You've never been in a situation where you cannot stop. You can't get out the ring because you've still got 2 minutes to go. And the kid's beating you up. I remember the first time I took a proper beating, I got hit with this shot. We're only young. I remember it to this day. My nose splattered. My eyes filled up with tears, and I was getting beat up. Well, I'm not lying to you, boys. I was getting beat up. I was 14 years old. I thought I was Billy Big Bollocks. I got in the boxing ring and I got beat up. And that taught me so many more lessons about myself. The fact that I cannot give up. I will not give up. No matter how hard this life or the opponent's going to hit me, you're not going to count me out. You know, so again, come back to the point, I've gone off topic again, martial arts for the kids. Yeah. Martial arts, get your kids in some sort of discipline where they will be forced to look deep inside. Do you really want to do this? So many times that everyone wants to quit in life. That's what I think. That's another thing why I don't think. No, let me rephrase that. I won't quit because of that. So my kids, when they're going to be old enough, I'm going to put them into boxing, put them into Thai boxing, into kickboxing, into jiu-jitsu. I don't care if you want to go or not to go. That's how you're going to learn your discipline. So all of a sudden, when you've got another kid same age and you're having a competitive fight, wrestle or whatever role, whatever it may be, that's when you're going to learn your life lessons. I realize that your dad is not coming to save you. And I think that's a big thing for kids to actually realize that no one's going to come to save you. If you're a little cheeky cunt, you're going to get clipped by someone else.
That's I think the key is being. So I like martial arts is brilliant. I mean, and you know, I'll come back to that in a second. I think the key is to learn how to lose and learn to be humbled early. I think that, and it goes back to that entitlement thing. If you've never lost, then when you do lose, if the older you are, the worse it is. You need to learn that kind of, you know, thing. And my very first one-to-one jiu-jitsu lesson I had, I went in, and you know, this is a gi, this is whatever, and my instructor was, I mean, he's probably maybe 5'7" and about 50 odd years old. And I went in at the time, and I think I must have been 25, 26, been training for a while. You know, I was fit, I was strong. You know, I was, 5 inches taller than he was. I'm thinking,
easy.
do you know what? I've probably got a fair chance. Like, I obviously he knows more. but I've probably got a fair chance. How wrong I was, like, and I think that's everyone, and it happens often. But we went in, so it was like, you know, we started. It was like, no, we'll start on the floor, you know, so as you do, so you know you start, and he was like, right, okay, and I was like, what do you want me to do? And he was like, do what you want, like try and attack me, try and choke me out, whatever. And I went, and within armbar, that was it. And he was like, okay, let's go again. I was like, what the fucking hell is this? And we went, so we're going again, triangle. Going again on my plata, and it was just move after move after move. And what I didn't realize is he was showing me like all the different things, like, and he was just like, and he was like, right, okay, let's have a go stood up. And he was like, and I want you to really try. And I found it difficult because I'm like you, I'm not a violent person. And he was like, I want you to try it. And I was like, try what? And he was like, hit me, take me down, do whatever you want. And I'm thinking. I at this point he's already like pasted me a few times. I'm thinking I know I can't win here, so I'm like I was trying to be smart. So I was trying to throw punches like where he wasn't, to try and it sounds stupid, doesn't it? I'm thinking it's the only thing I know I'm not hitting him, and I still couldn't do it, and you know, it took me down, like, and it was one of the best things ever, because it's like there's something to this. This is fucking insane. And I loved it. I did it for 4 or 5 years, something like that, and I couldn't get enough of it. If I could have, like, if I had the money, I would have done that day in, day out, forever. And because it's just unbelievable, and you learn so much. And I genuinely believe a blue belt jiu-jitsu player, like BJJ, could, like, annihilate most, like, your average person in a
100%.
Like, it would absolutely
100%.
But I also think that extends to, like, because I think, you know, I don't know if you mentioned karate in your list. Did you mention karate in your list?
Yeah, I did a little bit.
Bag of shit.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Boxing, I'm with you. Thai boxing, I'm with you. Jiu-jitsu, but karate is just like, a blue belt jiu-jitsu would absolutely walk over like any black belt karate.
Let me tell you one thing. Actually, I had a bit. The reason why I stopped jiu-jitsu, right? Because I did it for a little bit, for a couple of months. Man, I got my arm snapped by a fucking child, and that's what I thought.
Yeah.
I thought, fuck that.
Yeah,
The last thing I want to do is get injured that way. But that's a perfect example, because the kid was smaller. The kid just knew what he was doing. You know, blue belt jiu-jitsu, twisted me up like a pretzel, mate. You know what I mean? My legs would touch your back on my head and all sorts. That was a humbling experience. You know what I mean? But I truly believe if I hadn't been through the times as a kid through the Thai boxing, actually what it's like to lose and win, it's a massive part of actually losing and winning in life. But if you don't have to deal with it, if you're a little sore loser, a little fucking stuck up cunt, mate, you're going to get twisted up all the way through life. And not just in sports, but through life. Because you don't have to humble yourself.
Yeah, it builds that mindset.
Of course it does.
You need to learn how to lose,
100%. And I think through that's why you see loads of fucking idiots in streets fighting, you know, night after nights out. Because they don't know what it is to control yourself. What does martial arts teach you? How to control yourself. Yeah. You try to lose your head in a martial art, in an MMA, in a jiu-jitsu, in wrestling, in boxing, in Thai boxing, you lose your head. You get beat up so bad because you're not in control. And another thing that it teaches kids self-control, how to control yourself, how to become responsive and not reactive. Yeah. Because a lot of people are reactive. Fly off the handle. Respond to the situation. Take a step back, look at what's what, and go forward with it.
Does that the concept, I'm sure you're probably familiar with it, of the idea of invisible jiu-jitsu, which is like, and there's a good video of it where like it's
what's that, invisible
jiu-jitsu? Yeah, so the idea is because if there's an altercation, no one wins really, because you either get your ass kicked or you get arrested. Like, do you know what I mean?
Or in like a street fight scenario.
You can't really win, but also, you know, you don't know how many people, you know, they could have 4 mates around the corner. It's the avoidance is the best tactic in it, hands down. So the idea of invisible jiu-jitsu is like everything possible to avoid the altercation. And it's important, I think. It's like, and that's another skill that you kind of, there's a pie chart, and it always makes me laugh because it's like, you know, 99% in one colour and you know, a tiny sliver in the other, and it's like, why think I will win in a street fight? And the tiny sliver is because I'm a trained fighter, and the other 99% is like, you don't know my mentality, bro. When I see red, bodies hit the floor, and it's just absolutely stupid, isn't it? Yeah. Like, if you're not trained, you're gonna get your ass on the tee, like, and that's it. But you know, I think anyone that is trained, it's that discipline of going, I know I'm going to win.
You got no ego, have you?
No, we got nothing to prove.
No ego. Like well, that's point. I've got nothing to prove. what the fuck do I need to prove to you that I can slap shit out of you?
Yeah.
You already know you can, so
Yeah.
you just stand to lose, I think.
Yeah.
That's it. I've had mates who did kickboxing from a really young age, and they're never the guys to fight, but they're always the guys that no one's gonna fight.
Yeah.
Because they just give off.
I think it's go on.
They give off that aura, give off
Yes,
that energy.
exactly.
They're just, even if they're just sat there not speaking. Like my best mate, he's probably been in a few fights, but he's always the guy who's just sat when there's an altercation happening. He just sits there and he's quiet, and nobody wants to.
Because you find
piss him
peace
off.
in the situation.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
So like the Dow. Have you ever heard Art of the Dow? I believe it is by I forgot the name. Anyway, but the old saying, I'd rather be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. Right. So what martial arts does actually installs that peace in the actual way. If there is an altercation, you can be peaceful. You don't have to be reactive. You can be responsive. If something comes your way, all right, cool, you can handle yourself. But I don't need to go stick up for my mates if he's starting something. Yeah, all right, I'm not going to let my mate get beat up. I'm not going to throw the first punch. I'm not going to be the idiot that's starting something for what? Just to say my dick's bigger than yours. I don't need to do it.
That's the confidence that
Of course it is.
you have in your own ability as 100%.
well. 100%. And a lot of times, a lot of these kids nowadays, they're ruled, they're controlled by the ego. You gonna let me speak to you like that? Why? What difference is? Do you think it really affects me? How he's going to speak to me? Because if he's speaking to me saying, "Well, that's his issue," I'm at peace with myself. Do you know what I mean? That doesn't mean that I can't handle myself. I'm all right. I used to be that kid that always, that's when we used to go out with my mates. All my mates used to be up for a fight. I used to be that one that used to be dancing in the middle. Do you know what I mean? While my mates are fighting, it was
Just
that
de-escalated.
I'm all right. I'm at peace. And I think, again, if we stand back to that, that's martial arts, that's self-control, that's being actually at peace with yourself. You're not warring yourself. You know, it's not you against, it's not you versus you, it's just you against the world. Cool, if you want to take on the world, do it yourself, but you don't have to do it in a violent way, do you? I don't believe that.
It's controlling your own emotions, isn't it? That's the thing. And I'm very much guilty of letting my emotions rule a lot of the time. And then afterwards, when you reflect, you think, oh, bollocks, like, you know, I wish I'd have been better, or I wish I'd have done that and whatever. So, like, what do you think that in terms of that emotional control, do you think it is a skill that's learned
100%.
again? And what kind of, are there any, like, tips, for lack of a more elegant term, in terms of how you go about developing that and that people can use?
I think a lot of it's self-development, knowing what's going to make you tick. If you know what's going to make you tick, if you say something to me that's going to make me tick, but I know it's going to make me tick, now I've got a choice now. Should I be responsive? Should I be reactive? Now listen, I'm not saying that I'm perfect and I don't ever react to situations. I'm only human. There's the one thing I don't want people to think that I'm perfect. I'm far from perfect. I've made more mistakes than anyone can imagine. And I have to keep on making. Why can we be human? I still get pissed off. I still get upset. But one way I look at things, if someone says something to me, but you've always got a choice. You've got to realise that you've always got a choice. Never let your ego control the outcome of the situation. If someone's got an altercation with you, now you can say, listen, mate, fuck off. Go away from that. You know what I mean? Or you can react in a violent way, whatever it is. But listen, one thing I'll always say, violence will always be the king of an altercation. Because, for example, someone really upsets you, what you're going to do? You're going to be violent. If someone attacks you, there's only so much response you can actually do before you have to turn reactive. You know, there's always, if someone attacks, take it, you got to make kids.
Yeah, I've got.
Someone attacks your kids, but you're not going to be responsive, are you?
No.
It's violence. So this is why it's so important to have that violence aspect into you, and you can't be so much of a fucking wet wipe, because this is, again, let's go back to the kid scenario. If throughout your life you've been faced with adversity, with tougher times in the gym, wherever it may be. All right. So when you grow up, if someone is a violent person to you, and you know you can handle yourself, you're always going to be better off, aren't you? There's no negative thing for kids not to do martial arts. There's no negative thing for an adult to do martial arts. There's nothing at all, because it's going to install discipline. And again, I've gone off fucking topic. but I forgot the question now.
Tips for, like, emotional control.
Tips for emotional control. Just realize that you've always got a choice. React or respond. Look at, for example, you say something to me, okay, shall I respond to it or shall I react to it? Respond to it. That's the card you dealt with. That's where I look at everything's a game of cards somehow, for some reason. Everything's a game of cards, because you've always got two options. All right, we've even got here fire. I've got water. Water's for chilling out. Or fire is response. Look at it that way. So if something pisses you off, first of all, look at why is it pissing you off. Is it pissing you off? Is it pissing you off because it's true? Is it or is it pissing you off just because you're being fucking annoying? If it's true, then you got to look yourself deeper inside. And I've done a lot of personal development, a lot of reading, a lot of listening, actually just figuring out myself. I used to actually do a lot of Reiki meditation, and that helped me deal with the inner demons I had before. All right, for anyone that hasn't tried it, I deeply. What's the word I'm looking for? Advise that you try it, because it teaches you a lot about your fit self. All right, so again, let's go back to the tips. You just realize, look at the situation. Why is it winding you up? If it's something that's someone said to you, fucking grow up. Do you know what I mean? What are you getting upset for about someone else's perception about you? If it's something that annoying you in your day to day, well, you can change that.
That's a hard thing to shake, though, isn't it? Like, because when you said, like, you know, and it's good, like, it's nice to sort of witness for you in that sense that, like, you genuinely don't give a fuck what anyone else thinks about you. Not everyone's like that. Again, it's tough. Like, some people really, like, care about, you know, what other people, like, you get really sad when what I think of you, don't you? Like,
Fuck off.
no, but you know what I mean? Like, people do judge their own self-worth about what other people
100%
think about it.
I think, right, look, let me put it this way. Right, perception. Let's start. It's perception. It's someone else's perception. Does his perception put food on your family's table? No. Does his perception put clothes on your back? So does it matter?
No. Well, that's it. I mean,
Same as that's it. It's very simple. You just got to realize what it actually is. No one's perception will ever feed your family. No one's perception will ever pay for your rent. No one's perception will ever put fuel in your car, because you can't pay with perception.
You can't.
It does not fucking matter.
Yeah.
And one thing I was talking about, actually, before I come here with one of my clients, is actually he said that actually he cares about what other people think. What that shows, and my client will mind me saying, it shows weakness. Because you're always going to be controlled by someone else's perception of you. You're always going to think, I wonder what he's thinking about me. I wonder what they're saying about me. It doesn't really fucking matter. And I think that you are truly become at peace when you realise that, you know what, I only need myself. My reflection, the person that's looking back in the mirror, is the only thing that matters. And once you realise that matters, that's when everything changes. Because you're not driven by the likes on Instagram, the views on your stories, the comments that everyone gives. You're not driven by that. Yes, everyone enjoys. I'm not saying that I don't enjoy when people give me nice compliments or say, Taz, that, you know, this has helped, whatever it may be. Doesn't mean that I don't enjoy it, but I'm not driven by it. I don't care. And if you don't care, that means you're at peace with yourself. As long as you are happy with who you are, no one else's perception will ever knock you off.
It's probably a nice, like, quite a free feeling, I imagine, because it's like, I know you don't like the you versus you, but it's
yes,
like,
of course, yeah.
It's just about you, isn't it? And
yeah.
and not in like a narcissistic sense, but just in like quite liberating way. That's what I was looking for.
Well, it's right, isn't it?
It should be. I think if everyone thought like that, it would be. Wasn't selfish, but was only interested in kind of bettering themselves and helping others along the way and receiving compliments, giving compliments, whatever. But
and if people are, I always think if people are saying stuff about what you're doing, I think, fucking hell, it must be a sad life to be so bothered about what another man's doing.
I look at it as a compliment.
Well, yeah, that as well.
If you've got time, if you've got the time in your hands and you're looking at my shit and you're sending to your mates,
you're actually following you,
and you're having a bit of a laugh, I look at this silly compliment. I did it loads of times. when I first started releasing speaking videos.
Yeah.
People like, who the fuck do you think you are? This is why I used to get all the time. Who do you think you are? You're a motivational speaker. I said, yeah.
Yeah.
They got no answer then.
I have, yeah. Yeah, I am, yeah. I'm going to do this. You won't do that. When I first set up Dubai, you're not going to do that. Who the fuck do you think you are? I'll show you who I am.
Yeah.
I did the first one. I come back, the same people that doubted me, they asked to go onto the boot camp. Sorry, mate, it's full now. It doesn't matter. As long as you believe in yourself, and I truly believe that every single man that grabbed his fucking bollocks and executes actually what they wanted to do. Didn't procrastinate. Didn't think I'm going to do this tomorrow. I'm going to start this Monday. I'm going to start this diet Monday. I'm going to start this trading Monday. I ain't done it again because my nana's goldfish just died. I had to bury it and fill the head full of excuses. I truly believe every single male would be great. I truly believe that. But the only thing that's ever going to stop you is that perception of other people. What would they think? It don't fucking matter, does it? Because at the end of the day, you're still going to have to go to bed on a night knowing that whatever you've done or not done, That's why it's so important to set something simple like critical tasks. This is what I coach in my coaching, something called critical tasks. Very simple things. Actually, set what you are set to intend to do that day. Could be very simple. Could be hit 10,000 steps. Could be meditate for 20 minutes. It could be do an ice bath. It could be go for a run. Could be do a workout. Could be all 5. Once you complete all both, you win the day. And I will never go to bed without winning the day. I'll never go to bed without winning the day, because what that does, pardon me, if I don't win that day, a habit done twice is a start of a new habit. Remember that. A habit that's done twice is the start of a new habit, good or bad. So if I know if I miss something off my critical task once, there's a slight chance I'm going to miss it tomorrow.
Yeah.
The next day, what happens then? It's a new habit. That's it.
Well, I always find I have better days if on a morning, walk the dog, go to the gym, go to the post office, go to the delivery office, do all that before I get to the shop. I'm always way more productive at the shop. And it's not...
You've kick-started, haven't you?
And I've probably slept a little bit less, but you just... It's momentum.
You've got those wins already.
Yeah, it's momentum, innit?
You've got the wins in the bank.
And you just go, don't you? You just
Like, I'm trying to phrase it without, like, because I'm not... My intention is not to trip you up here.
No, go on.
Because obviously I've noticed, like, the things that you've been saying, I understand some of it is very kind of, I would say, traditional male thinking. But a lot of the things you've said apply very much to females as well.
100%.
Like, you know, the idea of, you know, self-improvement, going out and getting better and things like that. So I guess it's more just like, you know, putting out there that those things can certainly be achieved.
100%.
Like, it's like more of a person thing, isn't it? Really?
It's 100% a person thing. And listen, the stuff that I put out, I actually get a large response from women, right? From positive things. Thank you, Saz, I needed that. You know, I had one today that I was talking to an ex-client, that's obviously a woman, and I did a geezer post, and she actually replied to me saying geezer checking in, right? So But when I say geezer, right, that doesn't mean male.
No.
It doesn't mean male. So, right, and realistically, the reason why I do target the male audience, because when I say geezer, you're not going to think of a woman, are you?
No.
But if a woman watch something and just takes into context what I'm saying and gets motivated by it, same thing. And I'll be honest with you, everything's business points, isn't it? Everything's business. The reason why I talk to why I say geezer, because I if you see on my Instagram, I'm a geezer lifestyle coach.
Yeah. It's the same, like...
You're
niching down.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's a bottleneck sort of thing.
You know, like, and I guess, you know, not to kind of put, you know, well, I'll just say it anyway, but like Andrew Tate, very, very divisive character. Like, whether you agree with him, disagree with him, whatever. But one thing you can't take away from him, I think, objectively, whatever side of the fence, whether you think he's you know, the second coming of the Messiah or an absolute dick, or anywhere in between, he's very smart from a business sense. The reason he says all this shit is because he knows that people will get mad about it, talk about it. Like, you know, the fact that he'll make a video that's deliberately provocative.
You see,
and
though,
then other people make
Matt,
videos.
I don't think he does, because I don't know if you watch his like long form stuff, but I'll sit down and I'll have it on TV or whatever if he's done like a 3-hour interview, and Amy will be sat there sometimes and she'll be like, why has he been so nice all of a sudden? And I'm like, well, this is just who he is, but he might have said some daft shit. And I don't know if he's done what is alleged to have done, but I think...
Oh, I'm not even on about that.
Yeah.
What I mean is, and I think he even commented on it somewhere, that he
says provocative stuff.
And provocative isn't necessarily a bad thing. I don't mean provocative as in... I mean in the literal sense. Things that gets people thinking, get people talking. So he will do something like that, and then you get other people that that choose to be offended by that. Like, if you're offended, if you're not offended, whatever he said, I don't know. But they'll make a video on why he's a knobhead. But they're Andrew Tate is a knobhead. Andrew Tate. They're saying his name. They're making videos about it. They're all clicking on his video, and he's sat there going, well, I've won.
Because look at the provocative side of it. Right, you go to a bad restaurant. Let's make it very simple. You go to a bad restaurant. If it was good, you might tell 2 people. If it was shit, you can tell everyone.
Yeah.
So if I say something that's going to piss you off, you know what you're going to do? You're going to send it to boom. If I
stick in your head.
So for example, the reason why I do a lot of talking, loud videos, because you have to realize that if you don't like it, you're going to send it to all your friends to watch.
Yeah.
You know? Then when you watch it, all right, some people might not agree, but there's a slight chance that you will agree. You're not going to do it, then you're going to follow me. right? Then when you follow me, I'm going to release another video that you'll like again. And if you like the video, you're going to like it. If you like the video, I'm going to message you. Right? When I message you, you're going to think, you know what, Taz? My mate, you're not going to say this directly to me, but you're going to think, you know what, Taz? My mates think you're a knob, but I quite like you.
Yeah,
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to sign up to your coaching. And then what happens then? They become part of the team. It's very simple. Again, it's what you care to do. Again, Andrew Tate, personally, I think he's a very, very, very clever businessman to what he's done. Some things are agreeable, some things are disagreeable. If you watch it long form, you know in what context he's coming from. If you watch it from short term, a lot of people just do the negative side of it, you know. I mean, I used to follow Andrew Tate when he had hair. Before the jail, way before the jail.
When he was kickboxing.
When he was kickboxing. Because I remember seeing him fight on Infusion in America. And he knocked a kid out. That's when I first knew Andrew Tate. And he's always been very, very, very talkative. He always knew how to sell tickets. And the way he's made his money now is very, very smart. And I truly believe any person that really hates on him is, first of all, you're getting the wrong end of the agenda. Do you know what I mean? I'm not pro, I'm not against, whatever it is. If you're getting the wrong end of the stick, the way he talks about women, the way he says women need to do X, Y, and Z. Yeah, I might probably get a bit of backlash of that, but what's wrong with that? What's wrong with a man providing for a woman? What's wrong with a man protecting a woman? What's wrong with a man providing for his kids? What's wrong with a man being hardworking, being dedicated, being disciplined? What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with it. But again, the modern society wants to make men weak. Modern society wants to make men to be weak, to take medicines, to get on tablets, not to train, to become fat, to become overweight. That's what the modern world wants you to do. That's why it's so easy to get fast food. And actually, I think I heard Dambo say it's hard to become healthy. Do you know what I mean? So what's wrong with actually wanting to better yourself? But this society wants to break you down. So a man like Andrew Tate is actually lifting people up and lifting men up and making actually you realise what you are worth with the old values. What's wrong with that?
Do you think that comes from a control aspect, or
What do you mean?
in terms of like
Yes.
whoever's above the government? Is it a control
Aliens.
aspect? Aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I control
The elite, I suppose.
100%. Because if you're weak, if you've got low energy,
You're easily influenced.
very easy.
Yeah.
If you watch the news, I can't remember last time I watched TV.
I
From
don't
this
watch
year.
the news.
No, I'm not saying Netflix. I like Netflix. So do not ban me from Netflix if I was watching it.
I was actually going to ask you what your favourite TV show was, but carry on.
Yeah. Do not ban me from Netflix. I fucking love it, right? Or Amazon Prime. Please don't do that. But I don't watch. I don't watch news.
Yeah.
I don't watch news. Why? Because it makes you weak. Have you ever watched news and been happy?
No.
I listened to radio for the first time today, and it told me how someone died, someone crashed, and someone got jail. What the fuck do I want to know that for? Do you know what I mean? I instantly turned it over. I think I put
It's
it in the class.
weirdly quite addictive as well, I
Of course
find.
it is.
I mean, start of COVID, I was watching news every day whilst eating my
Everyone
breakfast.
was.
And I found myself going on BBC News on my phone. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing?
The thing that's kind of, and not like on a huge conspiracy level basis, but it's almost impossible unless you're a completely pure scientist, and even then it's tough. You've always got your own opinion, agenda, like to some degree, and it's very difficult to escape that. And all the news channels will be, have a specific agenda backed by specific people like that. So you've got to bear in mind everything you read as well. I think I told you like once, didn't I? I think we had this conversation in the car, and one of the things I used to go through in class was like that, and this is 100% true, I promise you I'm not lying, that statistically speaking, smoking reduces the risk of getting dementia.
Really?
Yeah.
Where are cigars at, boys?
But then when you think about obviously looking to the data, that's because you're much more likely to die from smoking. So you're not old enough to get dementia.
Yeah, they can twist.
Wow, I
So
didn't
what I
think of
told
that.
you was true. It was 100% true.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? I
Told
gave
you
you a
in a way
specific
that-
standpoint
Yeah.
from that. And people do that. News channels do that. Everyone does that to some degree. It's like you can't, it's almost impossible to escape sometimes because you have your own, you are you, and you agree with some things, you disagree with other, and that kind of, it's almost impossible not to have your own take on things. So I'm turning to you now. I'm losing my own train of thought.
Listen,
But yeah, so it's on news being depressing and things like that.
on that thought, if something's happened bad in Japan, can you do anything about it? What's the only positive thing that's going to come from it? Nothing. It's going to affect you mentally because you're going to think, oh, this poor thing's happening in this part of the world. Can you do nothing about it? No, if you can't do nothing about it, what the fuck are you worrying for? Because all the thing it's going to do is going to bring your vibrations down. Let's talk about vibrations. Vibrations, your energy vibrations. What happens when you when your energy is low? Things can susceptible. That's why a lot of times when you're stressed, the next week you're going to be poorly.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's an attack on your body. Isn't
Yeah.
it? Like,
Same thing. So what happens, again, I'm not going to fucking wear a tinfoil hat, but what happens when you're watching news, when you're watching things that bring you down, that are making you feel in a certain way, you bring your vibrations down. This is why I don't watch scary films. I don't watch scary films. I don't watch scary films.
Oh, I love watching scary
I do
films.
not. I remember, boys. When I first time watched a scary film, it was Scary Movie 3, and I was petrified, and I won't watch it. I'm very bad.
My challenge to you then, there's one on, and I think it's on Netflix. There's one called Sinister.
I've watched Sinister.
You know what? I think I went to watch that in the cinema when I was fucking mate. Absolutely not. I'll be honest with you, right? Again, this is strictly for this podcast, and everyone else watches it. But I went to see Sinister in the cinema when it first came out. When I was in like year 9, so what, 14. This is very weird, right? And I will say it, but I made my brother come in the bathroom with me while I got a shower because I was petrified, thinking that scary thing was going to get me.
Yeah.
And then for about 3 weeks on bounce, I had nightmares. I cannot watch scary films. But again, why can I not watch scary films? Because it brings my energy down.
Yeah.
So for example, if I watch something that's a little bit scarier than scary movie, I've got to watch Friends after to cheer me up a little bit. But that's again, let's go back to the news thing. If you're watching news, if you're worried about COVID, if you're worried about fucking vaccine, if you're worried about the war, if you're worried about fucking polar bears dying, if you can't do fuck all about it, what are you worrying for? There's nothing positive that's going to come from you worrying. Worry about yourself. Worry about you being out of shape. Worry about the fact that your kids are consuming fucking a lot of idiotic stuff that's sending them the wrong way. Worry about their food consumption. Worry about your missus not loving you because you look like a lazy fat cunt. Worry about that, because that's more important. They're the things that you can do. Worry about the fact that you haven't got enough money because you're spending too much time scrolling up on TikTok. Worry about that. That's way more important than what's going on at the other side of the world. You can't do it about it. So this is why, again, I've gone off track again, boys. This is why I don't watch the news. I don't listen to radio. It's a load of bullshit. And that's simple as that.
So I guess, like, in an attempt to kind of pull it somewhat back on track, I'm conscious we've been chatting for a while and we're not really got into the meat and stuff. So what are your goals, aspirations for the future? Where do you want to go? Like, what's the plan?
I say this with all utmost confidence. The Tasmanian coach will take over the world. Simple as that. I've been saying it for years. So what I mean by that, I don't mean in the evil mastermind I'm going to take over the world, but I will make it number 1 brand in the world. So I will be one of those coaches. Like, you see I forgot in his name, like, called Joe Fitzsummit, an Australian fella.
Oh yeah,
he's everywhere. I'm going to be like him. That's my goal and aspiration. My only goal is aspiration to make sure I am the biggest name in the world. And I'm saying this with full confidence in the ability to do so because I believe in myself. That's my goal. My goal is to make sure my family has got an incredible life. My kids don't have to worry about anything. My kids are happy. My kids are healthy. My wife is healthy. My wife is happy. That's my goal. And how I'm going to do that? By taking over the fucking world with Tasmania's coach. It's simple as that.
I fucking love the confidence,
simple as
man.
that. It's simple as that because I truly believe, fellas, if you haven't got the confidence in your ability, no one ever will believe in you. If you haven't got, pardon me, if you haven't got the certainty and the drive and ambition every single morning to wake up and get up and get after with that goals that sometimes may not be in your reach right now, that's fine. That's fine. That's what I truly believe. Every single man should have a goal, should be driven, should be ambitious. This is why I strive for it in the coaching. This is why I don't have lazy people as part of the group. I do not have people who moan about shit. Can I help you? Yes, I will. But only if you follow the system. That's why I believe a high value man is what I'm trying to get out of every single male that joins the group, and women, because obviously there's 2 sides of the spectrum, male and women. But that's what I believe that we are going to do. We're going to push the agenda of a positive male role model. Because me as a man, I want to be the person that I need as a child. I need someone that's going to say, listen, this is what you do. Stop fucking about. Don't go out. Don't party. Do what you know is right. Because listen, I've done a lot of wrong things with the right intention. A lot of wrong things with the right intention. There's a lot of things that would I go back and change? Yes, I would. And it takes a lot to say that. because a lot of things for a long time I'd let my ego control me and let it get better in me. So if I go back to it, Tasmanian coach is going to take over the world. My wife is going to be happier than ever. My kids are going to be happy and healthy. I'm going to live happily ever after. That's my goal and aspiration. That's exactly I'm going to accomplish in the next coming years. That's it.
The confidence is
unreal. Isn't it?
Inspiring.
If you could, well, I think I know what your answer is going to be. I was going to say, if you could bottle that and sell it,
fuck.
you'd be a millionaire like nothing.
You've got to have that though, haven't you? Like some people aren't as upfront about it, but in your head, you've got to ever get anywhere. You've got to have that in you. Because for me, with the supplement side of things, I always envision Wolf Supps being the biggest supplement brand in the UK, and then potentially the world. But I might not say it, but it's
say it. You know, because you start saying, you start to believe it. You start to believe it. Think you're gonna start taking the steps forward in order to do that.
This is why you believe in manifesting then?
100%.
Manifesting.
I manifested the good and the bad in my life. The good and the bad in my life. I manifested it. I was going through. I was 26. I went through a court case when I was 22 to 24 to see my daughter, and I manifested that many years before. So I truly believe that you are the byproduct of what goes into your brain.
What you manifested, the fact that would happen.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Scary. You know, this is why it's so important. This is why I talk with such certainty, because everything that I've done right now is I've manifested it years ago. And where I'm going, I'm not the finished product yet, but I am well on the way. And please believe me, I'm doing everything possible every single day to make that happen. And I'll say it till my face turns blue. I will take over the world. I've said it for years, and many people doubted me. People doubted me when I was 20. I had to set up my own business. People doubted through my own fault. I'll take responsibility of that, because I think that's another high value trait of to actually take responsibility for the bullshit that you did. I did a lot of bullshit things. I hurt many people. I did a lot of bad things with good intention. You know, I did that. But bad things, I manifested it. Good things, I manifested it. And got to also realize that every single bad thing isn't technically a bad thing. I'm not talking about my daughter. I'm talking about just business wise.
It's a lesson.
Yeah. Because if you don't learn from it, that's when it's a loss. That's why I don't believe in losing.
What actually were your first business then? Obviously,
I had. So the Thai boxing gym that I trained at, I managed to get an investment into it.
How did you?
Yeah, I did. Got investment into it. And then me and my business partner, my ex-coach, we fell apart. Not fell apart. We went our separate ways through my own doing.
Right.
I'll say that. I'm not going to it too much, just for respect for him. You know, I don't know. We don't need to share that. But I made the mistakes, and I had to pay the price. Simple as that. So I fucked up, and that's where I had many years of fucking up, messing about, finding my feet. But if anything, I'm more grateful for that moment, because I wouldn't be sat here today if I didn't go through that time.
It's good that you see it like that as well, because a lot of people would just throw all the excuses out, like,
No excuses.
this is why it happened, this is why it happened.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, having an investment in a gym, and then did that all go tits up then fully?
Nothing.
Start again from zero.
I had to get my accountant to he bought my first pads and gloves. I had nothing. I used to PT people on the slide and exercise for less in Kirkstall Road. Where I used to get people get there, sign up for the month, and I'd sign up for the month. And I remember one time I had a client at 10. I didn't have a client till 2 o'clock, so I went on the stepper for all them hours. Because I would just. God. I would hit in the bag.
That's crazy, man.
Because I didn't have no way, and this is what I talk about. No other option. My other option was to go work for someone else, and I didn't want to do that.
No.
So my option was to this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it till I can make it happen. Then within a couple of months, I successfully built up a business. A couple of months from there, I got a bit of gym space. A month from there, moved to another gym. A couple of months from there, moved to another gym. And then where I am right now, it's been a fast journey, really. Really fast journey, you know, because so that happened when on my 20th birthday. Now I'm 26 and I'm flying family up to Dubai for a better life.
So where did the idea from the boot camps come? Well, that's something that just kind of happened.
It was a conversation passing with my wife.
Right.
It was a conversation. So we were sat, just after we got engaged in 2020, we sat around the pool in Portugal. And I always wanted to do international boot camps. Right? I always wanted to do, for one reason only, because I could never afford to go on holiday myself. So I thought, if I get people to buy a boot camp, technically they'll pay for me to go with them, so I can make that work.
Genius.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
And I was sat around the pool with my wife, and we'll talk about international boot camps, about Marbella and stuff. And she says, "Do you know what, Taz? Leave Marbella out." I said, "I don't think it's the right place." I said, "All right, no worries." So we carried on conversation. Went, "You know what? I want to take kids to Dubai." said, I'm going to do a boot camp in Dubai.
Hmm.
She went, all right, fine, go do it. So we'll come back. The idea kept playing in my mind. I'm going to do a boot camp in Dubai. To the point where I couldn't sleep, I could visualize it. I could see myself being in Dubai doing these boot camps, with these people. And then literally, I saved up 600 quid, because that's how much it were for a return flight. And on the 3rd of January, a couple of weeks before that, I said, babe, I'm going to go to Dubai. She went, all right, it's fine, go. 3 weeks from then, 3rd of January, when the COVID restrictions lifted up a bit, because this was through COVID, I flew out to Dubai. I flew out on a Sunday, got there on Monday, and my flight home was on Friday. I had no contacts, I had no gyms, I had no network. It was just me, a skinny kid with glasses, and a bit of bum fluff on my face. I walked into a gym first. I walked into a gym and said, I walked into a gym and I said, with confidence, my name is Sazos Anissa, and I run international boot camps from the UK. I'd like to participate, use your venue for the boot camp. The man looked me up and down. Said, you who? I thought, okay. My name is Sazos Anissa. I run international boot camps and I'd like to use your facility for one of my boot camps. Nah, sorry, not interested. I said, all right. I said, no problem. I said, I'll see you soon. And I walked out. And I remember that was the first gym that I tried. I thought, I flew all this way. I spent most of my money because I didn't really have much then. I just bought a house. We bought a house. I had a baby at home. My wife. I thought, I cannot physically go back empty-handed. I cannot go back with a tail between my legs saying, sorry, baby, it didn't work. I just spent 5 days in Dubai and I've just spent most of my savings just to go there. I could not do that. That was not an option. So when I knew that one of my friends was there on a holiday, so I said, mate, have you got your camera with you any chance? He went, are you in Dubai, Taz? I said, yeah. I said, you know that boot camp thing I was telling you about? I said, I'm going to do that. I said, what? You're in Dubai now? I said, yeah. I said, no problem. I said, so we shot the video, right? We shot a promo video just off the cuff into it.
In a gym or just
on the marina running about.
Yeah,
we end up getting into one gym and they didn't know we were filming. I just filmed a few things on the slide, right? Did it run up and down beach a little bit. Actually, my mate knew that Joel Corey were there.
Right.
He actually managed to swindle him to help me with one of the videos. So we filmed the video out of fucking nothing, right? We filmed the video. I released the video in February. By March, it was sold out. So this vision that I had in August, also in March, I thought I can make this happen. With no one that ever believed in me, because I went through different coaches. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought, well, if I can get another coach on board with me, we'll go 50-50 partners. It'll be a little bit less of a, less work for me. But everyone shut me down. No, you're not going to do that. Who do you think you are? That's why I got a lot of time. Is that what you do? Yeah. Oh, sound. I thought, I'm going to show you. I'm sure, because I've always been very driven. If you tell me I can't do, my mum used to hate this. If she told me I can't do something, I'm going to do it just because you told me I can't do it. Best thing to do is just tell me that you can do it. Like,
you're not bothered them.
Sound.
Yeah.
But a lot of people said, you want to do that. Anyway, that November I flew out with nine participants and a coach and a videographer. I flew them out to Dubai to do the first boot camp. Great success. Wow. Completed it. All right. After that, I come back and people are like, surely you can't do that again. Who's gonna come for this? For the price that they paid? No one's gonna pay that. I thought people pay this. I'll put the price up, and then I flew out with 6 participants. Right, did it again. Then people are like, fucking, I was actually making something work here. So what I've done then, I've done another boot camp. All right, this is the power, the upward spiral that I like to talk about sometimes. Once you do something once, you do not have to be great here. Here's rock bottom. You don't need to be great here. But as you start doing the steps that you know where you need to go, only you believe. Don't forget that no one, apart from my wife, no one really believed in me. No one really knew I could do it. Why? Because the environment I was surrounding myself in. No one's ever done stuff like that. Everyone just goes on holidays to Spain. No one really thinks, I'm going to fly a team of lads to a boot camp that they're going to pay for, that I'm going to organise with zero network. So like I had people over there.
Yeah.
It was just through Instagram.
Yeah.
That's it. I just set up. I converted my old IG Instagram with a couple of thousand followers into the AV Boxing and Fitness page, and I messaged gyms with that account just to make me look like I had a bit of a presence. But realistically, there was no engagement. did it as a front.
Yeah.
It's a realistic. I did a bit fraudulently, but now
Just made it work.
Just you've got to make it work, because I didn't give myself another chance. Because if I went back on the 7th of January, or 8th of January, if I went back to my missus and said it didn't work, I'd have been fucking fool. Why? Because if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And I would not allow myself to go back and say, "Oh, babe, no, sorry, it didn't work." There was no option for that. There's no option. There was no option. I invested that little bit of money that I had into it, so I had to make something work.
Yeah.
Even if it was one person. And throughout that year, don't forget, that was rife COVID. Dubai was on the code, the red. Remember, they were like green, green on the list, red up till September. I had my balls. I was grabbing my balls till September, thinking,
shit,
fucking hell, what the fuck? This is gonna happen. And then on the 3rd of, I think it was 7th or 8th of September, green. Boom, we went. That's it. It's as simple as that. The moral of the story is, for anyone that wants to do something, anyone that's got any aspirations, anyone that wants to make it out, that wants to better themselves, just put your left foot in front of your right. You do not need to know how you're going to do it. 2 small steps. Reverse engineer. So I know I wanted to do a boot camp in Dubai. How do I reverse engineer? I need people to do it. All right, let's go further than that back. I need a video. And it's actually get people on board to actually show them what they're doing. I reverse engineered and took step by step to get to this point. Now we've done three in Dubai. We're going to do in Thailand. We're going to do other locations around the world, and that's it. Keep on moving forward. You know, the little story from Dubai, what really lit my fire, because I truly believe that Dubai was a key turning point through it all. Because I was sat in this little rented Nissan Micro something in Dubai, Lamborghini's flying about, and I've paid £100 for this little Micro to get me about. Yeah. And someone pulled up to me in a Lamborghini Urus. I never seen a Lamborghini Urus until this point. I thought, fucking, that's a nice car. The guy had his windows down. Shades on, a little bit cool. About 24 degrees in Dubai, so that's nice and cool. People had roofs down, pan roof open. He had some sunglasses on, and it did not do nothing. So please don't get us wrong. He didn't do nothing. He physically just glanced at me. Back at his phone, and that moment I thought, why has he got that and I haven't? What's the difference between him and me? There's nothing, because my self-belief's all been more. Why has he got a Urus and I'm sat in a fucking Micro? Why is he must be, if it's rented or whatever, why is he in that position and I'm not? And it made me angry, made me upset. I'm not lying to you, made me upset, because I thought, why can't I have what he's got? He's not better than me. He's like me. We all bleed the same, the old saying. So why can he afford that and I can't do it? And when I got back, I've never had that much burning desire and fire to win, because I thought, if Dubai opened my eyes to the world, there's so much riches. There's the opportunity is endless. If someone can achieve something there's nothing that I can't achieve. This is why it drives me so much to go there. It drives me because I truly believe that's a land of opportunity. And I truly believe if you've got any pair of bollocks, that you will succeed in this life. The only difference is going to be the anchor that's holding you down. Could be family, could be relationships. This is why I'm so grateful for my wife that's actually coming out to Dubai with me.
I was just going to say that, like, how important is it having that support at home? Because I can imagine a lot of lads would go back to the missus and say, right, I'm taking taking the £800 and I'm off to start this camp in Dubai. But a lot of people are going to be like, fucking hell, what are you doing? Why are you doing that?
My missus, my missus always believed in me. This is why she's my wife. You know, this is why she was always believed in me, even to the point where, even though I'm a very confident, strong person, the only person that ever believed in me when I didn't believe in myself was my wife. I can only hand on the heart say that. That's why we are in the position we're in, because of her. Nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with me. She's the one that she's the one that humbles me as well. Because sometimes I'm very confident, I can speak my mind. I'm very confident, I'm very driven. But she'll say, "Well, look at it in this aspect." My kryptonite's her. I'll openly admit it. The only person that can ever break me down and get inside me is her. You'll know yourself, or you missus. She's the one that can fucking penetrate me, that can hurt me. You know, and I think that's a highly valuable thing for a man to admit, that he has got kryptonite. Because none of us are invincible. You know, I truly believe that the right support network is very important. And a lot of times, if your other half doesn't support you, ditch her. The message is simple. If your missus or people around don't believe in your vision, that's your vision to have. And if they can't be at the bottom there when it's just a vision and it's just a thought pattern that you can't stop thinking about, you're losing sleep over it, that you can't stop talking about. If they're not willing to support you, they're not there forever. You know, we've all go through relationships. There's a reason why we go through it, because that's the person that you need at the time. If that's the one thing, if that's the person that's holding you back, you need to get rid of. And I'm gonna say that with all utmost honesty.
Well, it's having the bollocks to get rid of it, and I suppose men who stay with the wife that they're not happy with for 20 years, 30 years.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
The wives that stay with the men because they're not happy. There's two sides to the story.
Yeah. But they're probably not going to be the ones that achieve that level of greatness because you need that support network at home 100%. And you need that woman there. So.
And you know that if we talk about support network, my missus that I spoke to is probably the only person that can humble me. Because I listen to her. I won't listen to no one else. If you don't like what I do, I think your comment matters to me, no. But the woman that looks after me, the woman that looks after my children, the woman that cares for me, that cooks, that cleans, listen, there's nothing wrong with it. That's what my missus, we've got roles. I go out and get it. I go and prosper, I go provide, I go protect. My missus will look after me at home. That's the way it is. And a lot of people say it's toxic. I don't believe it's toxic. I just believe some men are very weak. You know, very weak in the sense of, listen, I'm going to take responsibility to provide, to protect, and to prosper for our family. If you can look after the kids, cook and do the cleaning and everything else that I'm fucking hell, I'm going to say it. No, I'm not going to say that women are meant to do, not meant to do. Again, this is going to be this is going to bite me on the ass well bad. But if you both understand your roles,
traditional gender roles, I suppose,
if you understand your roles, that's when you can both prosper. It does not work if you're both trying to do the same thing at the same time. You end up tripping each other up.
I think, you can rescue yourself, don't you? Like, it's about choice, though, isn't it?
There
like,
we go.
I think
fuck for that.
Jesus, you're right. Thank me later.
Edit that out, boys, please.
If your choice is to do X and your partner's choice is to do Y, and those things perfectly fit together,
exactly.
That's what matters. Yeah. Regardless of what those choices are, there's nothing wrong with.
There's nothing wrong with a man staying at home and women going to work.
Not at all. As long as they're both happy and agree to do it, I think that's 100%. Fine.
So that's
all you were saying.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's again, like, it's one of them. Like, that's what you believe in,
100%, and
that's what a lot of men believe in. That's the kind of shit that gets clipped up and framed in a.
Yeah, we'll clip that and say
framed in a way that you didn't mean it.
Listen, I'll be portrayed. I'll be portrayed toxic after this because of what I'm saying. But I'll stand by my morals. Now, my brother's very different. My brother's got different views. Me and my brother clash a lot of times because I talk like this about, you know, my missus being at home and looking after the kids, and because even though I can look after my own kids, my missus is 10 times better. Now, I'm better at taking risks. That doesn't mean that my missus is not good at what she does. She's what she's doing to. I do what I need to do. Now, my brother's very different. He how can I word this? He's got very different views, let's put it that way. I mean, he believes that they both do what they need to do, the blah blah blah, and that's the way it works. And listen, if that works for them, that's fantastic. But personally, in my household, why is there no women who have been great rulers and conquerors around the world? Genghis Khan, Alexis Caesar. Why? I don't know no women names who have been savage, who've been ruthless, who took over the world. Do you?
Well, I guess it depends on your yardstick, though.
Go on.
Because obviously you're right in exactly what you said there, like with the adjectives you used. But women tend to be safer leaders.
Yes. Okay. There we go. So that's for women to be safer leaders, they need to be our peace, don't they? Because imagine if you got home and your missus was more fiery than you. Fucking hell. They're not blowing the roof off. But women are good at different aspects of men. Women are a lot calmer. Women think a lot more logically than we do. Let's give them credit for that. Because my missus can think logically. Sometimes, again, I can think emotionally. Yeah, so I can think I just got to do this, because I want to do it. Missus will be like, well, do you think that needs to be done? You know, I truly believe a woman should be a man's piece. That's the way. That's the way that's what I believe. Again, I'm gonna get fucking rich, but that's what I believe, and I'll be honest, I'll stand till my face turns blue. That's the jobs, and that's the importance for having a supportive network.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, you'll always go further standing for what you believe in as 100%. Well, and putting that out there. Like,
And
you believe what you believe, and you don't give a fuck really. Like that's you're happy, your wife's happy,
Yeah.
your kids are happy. So
that's I'm pretty much going to say the same thing. Like I know you keep saying, "Oh, I'm going to get shot for this," I'm gonna shot, and I know you're obviously playing a little bit, but like it's your opinion, and it's people can take that, leave that, agree with it. Disagree with it,
if let's talk about what's offense. What's the other word for it?
You mean like someone being offended?
Yeah. So if some there's a different word for it. It's fucking offenses are always taken and not given. You can take offense to what I say.
Yeah,
I don't do it intentionally. So if you're offended by what I said, that's your own problem. I'm not going to lose sleep.
yeah. It's one of them, and it's like if you're offended, it's a you problem.
Yeah.
Like, and to be honest, I agree with that to quite a large extent because and one of the things that kind of grinds my gears, and it's when people sort of say, "Oh well, I'm offended," as though that kind of trumps stuff. And I like Stephen Fry because he says like, when people say, "Oh, I'm offended," and he goes, "Well, so fucking what?"
Yeah.
Like,
you know what? You should be offended. The fact that you're out of shape. Should be offended at the fact that your bank account's not where it needs to be. You should be offended that you feel like shit every single morning. That should fucking offend you. Not what I'm saying in my morals and my views. What are you offended about me for? Do something about yourself. And the people who are always giving shit are the only ones that are not happy with themselves. Do I really give a fuck what anyone else says? No. So why do you?
yeah.
What's it matter? That's just my opinion. That's just I think as a high value man, someone that stands for what he believes in, that's just the way it should be.
Yeah, and I think that like you're saying, that's your opinion. You believe X because of these reasons, and this is how you could choose to carry your life out and whatever, and that's your choice. Like I know you don't like, but I think it's nice just to not care about anyone else. If you have an opinion that you've formed because of any number of reasons, it could be data, it could be just like you'll bring in whatever, but that's your belief, and stick with it.
And I think that's a massive thing. I should just stand in what you believe in. Don't get pushed to a different agenda just because someone said to follow this. Don't follow it. This is why I always say again, we're not going down the tin hat route. But if the media is showing you something here, look the other way. What's actually going on? Why am I forced to watch this? What's actually going on behind the scenes? Everything's a distraction. I'm going to fall down the rabbit hole here. I'm going to pull this up.
Well, let's go because we've got some questions, haven't we, that came through.
One thing before we get on to that, are you religious, Taz?
I'm not religious, but I believe in the higher power. Right. So I don't believe in God to a sense as a physical being, but I believe in the higher power as a spirit. I believe there's spirits in that sense. If that answers it.
Yeah. Well, the universe has a weird
That's
way
it.
of
That's
working,
it.
Yeah, we did get some questions actually, Taz. So
I'm intrigued to see what these are and your answers to them.
They're not daft at all. They're all.
Oh, really? I
good.
expected some daft ones.
I think with Dambo, a lot of his mates were asking him just daft shit. So
Is this from the
Instagram?
I never think I'm going to get these questions. Like I never thought that anyone.
Well, it's people. I mean, it's always. Like a guy asked Danbo a really weird question the other day, and I don't even know the guy. It was just a private account, or like, Yeah. And he watched the podcast because he commented on it as well.
Did he?
Yeah. So Tom, do you believe in failure?
Do I believe in failure? No, I believe in lessons. Because you only fail if you don't learn from it, or if you don't try again.
And you only fail if you stop.
Yeah, fail if you stop. Yeah,
that's it. So that's my answer.
Ben, what is the most important aspect of self-development?
That's a good question. What is it? Self-evaluation. Evaluate yourself. Evaluate what's making you tick. Realize what makes you feel good and what makes you feel bad.
Realizing your weak points and trying to.
That's it. And most important, admitting your weak points. Admit you know what your kryptonite is. I have a lot of lads that I speak to that struggle with partying. That's your kryptonite, but let's delve a little bit deeper. What's your kryptonite? Is it the fact that you always argue with your missus and then you go out on a bender? Well, she misses. That's the catalyst to this. It's not the partying that's the issue. It's the fact that you argue with missus, which is your solution to that is I'm going to show her. I'm going to go on a 3-day bender.
Yeah.
Realize your flaws. You know, and know how to work on them. I
like that. I'd say personally, one of my flaws over like the last 2 years is like having the confidence to talk to people. I feel like sitting down and doing a podcast is
Yeah.
kind of confronting that
Mm.
head on. Just fucking do it. Spencer, Dubai or Thailand?
Dubai for me.
Dubai, yeah.
Dubai for me. Easy.
Oh, we've just answered that. I'll leave that one. Do you believe in God? Big friend group or small friend group?
Small, tight. Is this like? Have I got a big friend group?
It's just big friend group or small
All right,
friend
cool.
group.
It's probably what you prefer.
Yeah, what's
Yeah.
better, I suppose.
Now, just another question. What do you class as a friend group? Is it your network? 'Cause I've got a large network, but I've got a small friend group. My friend group I can name on one hand, but I've got a large network. Which one is it? You know, personally, let's go back to the question. I'm trying to spin a question off the question.
Yeah, I get
Small
you.
friend group.
I get what you're saying though,
Yeah.
because like in work you have
People
you-
you
friends
class
and-
them as a
yeah,
do
of
you class
course.
them as friends? Would you go the way I look at friends? Would I go to your house and sit on the sofa with your mum and have a cup of tea? If the answer is no, you're not my friend.
Mm.
Not my friend. Would you do that to me? No, you're not my friend. You're an acquaintance. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with it. But
Well, I feel like for us, we kind of got close doing the Wolf Supps stuff, and now we are a lot closer than what we were. Maybe
Yeah,
at the start we weren't that close, but
that's
you
it.
can always
Yeah,
get a
of
friend
course.
out
Yeah,
of being an
100%.
acquaintance. So yeah. Last one. So Sam, can you train for muscle growth and speed/agility for boxing at the same time?
Why not?
Yeah.
That's a question. Yes, of course you can. Because you're putting tissue on. So what was it? If we go down scientific, you got to be in a calorie surplus to build muscle. I don't see why you couldn't train for speed. Yeah, of
Mm.
course you can.
Yeah.
As long as your training's done right in what you're doing, there's no reason why you can't. Speed is switch fibers, isn't it? So as long as you're working the right movements, there's no reason why you can't.
So yeah.
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 Yeah, the answer is yeah. Well,
Yeah.
as you can tell, boys, I like to go the long way around the answer.
That's the best way, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that rounds off the question. So I suppose for me, Taz, like what's the future looking like for you? When do you move? Are you moving out of the country permanently?
So I go
or
to Dubai on Thursday. Probably when's this podcast released?
Sunday?
Sunday. So when this is actually getting released, I'll be in Dubai.
Right.
So I'm in Dubai for a month, just seeing everything, make sure my kids are happy, make sure my missus is happy, make sure the school system's right,
Yeah,
you know, everything's like that. Make sure it's because I'd move there tomorrow, but make sure my missus is happy. Most importantly, you know, my
Right.
family, my family, are my key things. You know, they're the things that hold dearest to me. So regarding moving out for a month, then going from there, I'll come back, and then in January we'll be out there for 5 months of the year to start off with. We'll come back for the summer. Go back out there for winter.
Class,
really.
yeah.
You know, that's a dream, boys. That's a dream, and I truly believe every single person that should chase after it.
And when are you going to buy somewhere over there? Then are you?
100%.
Yeah, class.
Multiple things.
Yeah.
Take over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
about
yeah.
it, you know. And I think,
Quality.
and I appreciate your time, boys. For
No,
No,
thanks
it's
for
been a
coming
pleasure
down.
having you on. Yeah,
You got what else to say, Matt?
No, I
Round
think
it up.
I think you've
Very
answered
good.
everything. Like your mind's a wonderful thing. I would say that because the speed and whatever that you
You
go
are
through
very
everything,
articulate.
It's like
Very
it's
good.
almost like you can't get your answers out fast enough, which
Yeah.
is good because it's kind of it's just how you are. I think, which
Mm-hmm.
is good. Like you know,
tell my missus that fucking hell.
Yeah.
But this, I'll be honest with you, like I said, it's if anyone can take anything away from this podcast, is just if you've got a vision, if you truly believe it, you can make it happen.
Mm.
Because I'm not special. I'm not special. I'm not special at all. I'm just a boy that grab my balls and fucking go to go make it happen. That's it. You know, that's as simple as that. And as a man, you've only ever got your word and your balls, as your Scarface would say. Do you know what I mean? And if you want it, go fucking get it. Because the only thing that's ever going to stop you is yourself.
That's a lovely note to end it on.
it's
Cheers,
really
Taz.
good.
Appreciate it,
Thanks
boys.
very much.
Thanks for coming down.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All good, Chaz?